So this is how I get ready for prime for scrumming. Okay, so because you want to make sure that you're in a good position, you want to make sure that your knuckles warmed up, your back is all nice and thin, nice and warm, nice and settled. You want to make sure that your back is straight, chest is proud. Okay, so that looks like a little bit like this. Now if your back is straight like that, but your chest is in, then you're going to kind of cave like that. It's easy to kind of fold you like that. So that's why your chest is proud, because then it helps you to stabilize the underneath. Make sure that your core is always tight. So what it looks like when I'm doing my primers is I'm doing that kind of stuff, where I'm actually using my scapula and my chest together, and I'm pulling my chest in, pushing my chest out, but also with the extra movement that I'm doing here. This is what I'm doing with my scapula, right? Because it's just as important in keeping yourself in a strong position. Your body's going to be taking impact, there's going to be movement, so your scapulas need to be able to move, the shoulders need to be able to move, to adjust, but your chest needs to be proud enough so that you can't adjust, you don't over adjust. You know, you always stay in the strongest position. So what I do is, you can get a towel, always keep your head up, because when you're crouching like this. You're targeting where you're going. You're seeing where they are compared to where you are. Because if things are different in the scrum, then you're going to want to reset, or you're either going to know that you're in the weaker position when you're aiming at it on the crouch, but then you also want to be able to readjust if you need to. So you're going to practice your primers, you're going to have your head up all the time, do all the movement. So even with your primers, the head's up, right? Have a little adjustment, you know. And now that I'm ready, I can go into it. Crouch, bind, sit. A lot of the times you have to kind of duck your head. So you want to practice that movement where you're actually lifting your head after the sit, after you've engaged. Because the higher you can have your head, the safer you're going to have your neck in. So, and that's where you want. You want to be safe the whole way through. Okay? So if you can see what's happening, then you'll know what's going to happen. You know what you can feel. Most likely see what's about to happen, what's going to happen. Okay, so you're looking, crouch, bind, sit. Okay, so now that I've done that, now I can actually readjust my knees, because you want to have this 1 o'clock happening where this is pointing at the 1. Okay, so now that I know that I'm in a good position, I can actually come off my knees now, and I can actually readjust the focus. I know it's probably best to have something where you're not going to have things, but essentially this width is actually the perfect width for me, because then it actually helps me to lock in a bit better, and I can actually focus more on my body position than, you know, having to do this with my feet, because they're sliding around all the time. So here I go, I'm in a position, I'm in a strong position now. I'm at 1 o'clock, it's just a bit shorter, a bit over, but that's alright. Readjustments, see how my feet are slipping. So readjustments, but this one I'm really focusing on my back strength, my chest level, my shoulders movement, and my head. I've got that up, so once I'm comfortable and I've got it in a position that I'm strong. Now I can start lifting my hands. Alright, do that a few times. Once you're confident with that, then you'll be able to lift. Go. Alright, you put a little bit of pressure on. So looking at that, you want to make sure that you have your back straight, your chest proud. 1 o'clock's happening. Crouch, spine, sit. Crouch, spine, sit. Hold on. So after you've done that, swap over, use both shoulders, and then do that a few times. If you're gonna be in a team where 80 scrums happen, you probably want to practice that a bit more than a team that only does 20 scrums. However, the safety of it is more important. So if you feel unsafe, keep practicing it. You can't go to a training and expect to happen everything at training when you're not doing anything at home. If you're not working on it at home, it's going to take slower for all the training, because you only train twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. I don't know who you are, I don't know what your team does, but if you only train twice a week for an hour each day, or each training, or an hour and a half, you're not going to really develop heaps inside that hour, because you've got a whole team that you've got to try and practice. And so if your forward pack isn't doing scrums on that day, you're not going to learn anything. So your perishable knowledge is probably going to shorten if you're not doing anything at home to reaffirm what you're being taught at trainings. Okay? So make sure that you're doing it. Stretching. So warm up, stretch, do your primers. For your head, you just want to be kind of moving against resistance in all directions, making sure that all of that kind of stuff happens. Don't neglect the top of your head too. The top of your head also does take knocks. So things like this, going back to neutral. I was taught this, to always go back to neutral, so your head knows where neutral is. So you know, so it's just automatic. So when you go into trainings, you don't have to focus on that too much, because you're automatically doing it. Same with your body positioning. Same. If you can free up your scapulars and with your chest, wait, then I've done my job. Like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe. And if you're out there playing rugby or any contact sport, make sure you're safe. So make sure you learn safely and practice safely, so that you can play safely. Okay. Respect one another, fair play, man, fair play. All right, keep it a handy. All right, so thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Later.